Hi lovelies, you're welcome to today's tutorial. So today we are going to work upon this lace style. Look at the style. We are going to work on using this cord fabric for cord lace. Yeah. First of all, I am going to use this doll face material. It could be doll face, Duchess or shiny face to do this fabric. So now here is the style we are going to work upon. First of all, I will use this to cut out use it as a sample. The lower part. At the lower part, there's a joining here. That is a pleating at the down part here, right at this point. So while cutting now, we are going to cut from up to down using our doll face. While the opening here will not be there. It's going to be closed. At the closed area, we're not going to do any salvage opening. This is salvage. But at the neck area, we're going to apply the salvage only at the neck area, but at the center front, there won't be any salvage. While our cutting will stop below the knee, which is 48 inches. So let's dive into our tutorial proper. So first of all, I will create a starting point. I went ahead and folded our doll face. This is the front, while this is the back. And the back, I've created a zip allowance 1.5 inches. That's for the zip allowance, 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead now and create our starting point. So this will serve as our starting point. Yeah, I'm using a blue color shade. I don't want it to be so visible because it's white. So now from our starting point, from our starting point to, just as what I described before, from our starting point to below the knee is 48 inches. That is 48 inches. So what I will do now is so I'm cutting both the front and the back together. Our shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 4. While cutting the front and back together, we'll start the measurement right at the front center back. Yes, because all these are the back center back, or the back bodies is zip allowance. So we are starting our measurement right from here. So we have 8 inches plus ½ inch for stitching to the sleeve area. So from there I came down 1 inch for shoulder slant. While the front is V shape or V neckline, while the back will be just round neck. So for a V neckline, I did 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches for the wideness, while the depth for the front is 8 inches for the front. So I'll then connect it all the way up. So this is our front. I will create that shape, V shape. Okay. Why for the back? The same place. Why for the back depth is 1 inch. So first of all, we cut the back while cutting the neckline, we'll cut the back before we cut the front. First of all, we'll cut the back before we cut the front. And from our shoulder, all the way from our shoulder slant, I'll connect it to the. So that's that. Shoulder slant, I've connected it. What we are going to do next now is to shake for the shoulder slant. I came down 8 inches. That's the angle. Connected it all the way up. So here we serve as our angle. So we'll curve it for the back armhole. The front armhole we're going to come in. For the front, all the way from our shoulder slant, I check in the half of our shoulder slant, which is 4 inches. So for the back armhole, there's no coming in for our curve. But while for the front, I came in ½ inch. That's for the front. So I'll connect it like so for our front. So that's that. So while cutting the front, I'll cut it all the way like so. But first of all, I'll cut the back before cutting the front. While also for the neckline, I'll cut the back before cutting the front. So now we are progressing. So all the way from our shoulder. For our waist measurement is 17 inches, while our hip measurement is 25 inches. So our waist measurement, 8¾ let's just call it 9, 8¾ here. So plus 3 inches. Plus 3 inches for our allowance. 1 inch will be for our allowance, while 2 inches is for same allowance. So also for the hip, our hip measurement is 40. 40 divided by 4, we have 10. So we have 10 here, plus 3 inches. 3 inches for our So 3 inches for allowance. So we are going to connect it all the way so. Meanwhile, our bust measurement is 39 divided by 4, we have 9¾ 9¾ which is here. I want to add same 3 inches allowance. So all the way from the waist, we connect to our bust. That's the angle. So we are going to cut it like so. So now what I'm going to do next is to curve it all the way to the hem of the dress. So I'll cut it all the way to the hem of the dress. So remember, we are going to cut the back neckline first. So I went ahead and cut the armhole, the front armhole. So for the neckline, remember our V neckline. So I went ahead and cut it as well. So for the front bodice, the difference between the front and the back bodice is just the neckline and the armhole. So I've done that. See how it is. And here is our back bodies. Look at the neckline as well. So that's that. So what I will do now is I'll go ahead and use the doll face to cut the main fabric or lace material. So I'm cutting the front right now. So I went ahead and notched the hip area. That's that for our front bodies. So now I'll cut the back bodies. I went ahead and placed the satin on the lace fabric. Also taking note of the zip allowance. So there we go, we have the front and the back lace cut out. So we have our back bodies cut out already. So what I did next was to measure out the hip length. I went ahead and gave it a notch at the hip length. The notch point will enable me during stitching to ascertain the front and the back hip points. So that's that for our back bodies. So now the front bodies, I went ahead, I've cut it out already. We have the satin right there on top of the lace fabric. Yeah, the wrong side of the satin facing the right side of the lace fabric. So what I did was I went ahead and fastened it, the neckline area, with a pin. I hold it down with a pin to enable me to stitch all the way both sides of the lace. So now I'll go right there and stitch using 1/2 inch on both sides, just this way, on both sides of the lace and the satin. I'll hold it both sides together all the way down to the hem of the gown. While on the neckline, I'm not going to stitch the neckline area. Please take note. So also the back bodies, I won't stitch the neckline area. Right there, I will stitch the sides. I'll hold both the satin and the lace fabric together using 1/2 inch and flip it to the right side. Please take note, the wrong side of the satin on the right side of the lace. So now it has been stitched together. Yes, see the neckline area, I didn't work upon it. It was not stitched. So right now, I also went ahead and joined the lower area. Remember, we are going to attach our pleated lace on it, like from what I showed us on the picture from the beginning. So that's that for our front bodies. So what I will do now is to fasten down. I'll stitch all the way at that neckline area. I'll stitch it just this way to hold it firm. Then I went ahead and cut out a long strip. That's the length is 68 inches. While the width is 4 inches. So I went ahead and measured it out. We have 4 inches in wideness, while the length is 68 inches. But it depends on the availability of the fabric that you have. So in my case, I'll go right there and stitch right there on the wrong side and close it all the way to the end of the long strip. I'll stitch it and now turn it to the right side. I will stitch on the wrong side and now turn to the right side. So there, I've gone ahead and stitched on the neckline and also on the long strip. I've stitched on it and I've turned it to the right side. So it will be placed just this way, just right there at the center point of the front bodice. And now as I'm stitching, I'll keep on pleating on it till the end of the fabric. So for the front selvage, I went ahead and cut out the selvage for our V-neck line, I mean the front bodice. So I went ahead and placed the V shape right there on that selvage area. What I mean by selvage, the end part of the lace fabric that has designs on it. So to beautify the gown more, I placed the V shape right there on top of the selvage part, and I used it to cut it out to give me the exact shape of that neckline, like so. So here we go. Here is a V shape together with the selvage. So what I will do now is you can stitch it this way, or you can as well cut it out. So I went ahead and cut it just this way to enable me stitch it on right there on that V shape. So I went ahead and trim it out, the rough edges. So here is this side is going to be placed on the lace. So now I went ahead and placed down our front bodice on the table. So the right side facing the right side of the selvage facing the right side of the V or the lace fabric. I'll stitch it just this way. Also on the other side, right side facing each other. After which I will turn it. And at the same time, for a long strip, after I must have stitched it and turn it to the right side, I'll go ahead and fix in the long strip at the center point of the front bodice. So right there, it has been stitched already. So what I will do now is to flip it just this way, the way you see me doing it. I will turn it to the right side, like so. I will stitch right there on the fabric to hold it firm to the right side. I will stitch right there on the fabric. Please, while doing this, make use of the right thread, the right color of thread, which is white. Or depending on the color of the fabric you will be working on, use the same color thread. Now it has been stitched just like so. See how it is. So what I will do now is to mark in the center point from that V shape. I'm marking the center point of the front bodice. So I went ahead and measured it out. Yes, measure the center point So I went ahead and shocked it out like so. And now trace it all the way down to the hem of the gown. So I went ahead and traced from the bust to the waist, and also at the hip area I measured out the center point as well and shocked it down. So like so, I'll connect it all the way from the bust area or from that V shape like so to the hem of the gown. So here we are going to place our long strip at that center point, making sure it rhymes. As you are stitching, keep on following the marked or the short line. So I'm going to stitch it all the way till the end. So I'll do that and show us how it looks. So here we have our selvage placed down already. See how beautiful it is. And also I've gone ahead to fix in the long strip. Just see how it is. I made use of the shocked line. If you did not shock it down, there might be a mistake, it might not be straight. So also for the back bodies, I've gone ahead and cut out the selvage point as well. So also placing right side of facing each other and stitch on it on both sides. I'll do the same on the other side, right side facing each other. I'll go ahead and stitch on it and flip it to the right side and top stitch on the fabric. So I'll do this and show us, after which I will then face the right side of the back bodies facing each other like so. I'll flip it right side facing each other and stitch on the zip allowance. Remember we came in 1.5 inches. I'll stitch it and flip it to the right side. So now our front and the back bodies have been joined, and also the selvage point. Here is the back. I went ahead and ironed down the zip allowance just that way. So I also joined it at shoulder. I closed it at both shoulders. So here is the front bodies. What I will do now is to fasten it down with a pin. Stretched out the rough edges. Yes. So I went ahead, held it down with a pin to enable me to close it on both sides, like so. So the end part, remember we have to attach our ruffles at this lower edge. I went ahead and left just half inch for stitching in our ruffles all around the lower hem. What I will do now is to trim out the rough edges, excess fabric. I went ahead and trim it out. Taking note of the half-inch allowance for stitching in the pleated ruffles. Right now it has been done. I've cut out rough edges. So what I will do is to close in the sides, taking note of the body measurements, that's the bust measurement and the waist measurement. So for the bust measurement is 38 inches, 38 divided by 2, because our front and the back bodies is folded into 2, just this way. So 38 into 2 we have is 19 inches. So 19 inches I shocked it down. So what I will do is to out the remaining part from that 19 inches. What I have is 4 inches. So it means you divide whatever you have into. You take 2 inches on one side and also 2 inches on the other side. That's the way to take body movement. So I went ahead and shot down 2 inches on this side and also 2 inches on the other side. So for the waist measurement, all the way from the shoulder, I came down the waist, I came down 16 inches. For the waist length, I can call it half length. So I went ahead and shocked it down on both sides. So the waist circumference is 36 inches. When you divide 36 into 2, what we have is 18 inches. So I went out from the other end of the other side of the gown, marked 18 inches. So what I will do now, all the way from that 18 inches, measure out what is left and divide it into 2. What I have there is 3 inches. What I did was to divide 3 into 2, which is 1.5 inches. I went ahead and shot 1.5 inches on one side and also on the other side. So I trace it all the way to the bust measurement and also on the other side. So I also do the same for the hip length. So also for the hip circumference, I went ahead and measured out the hip length from the shoulder measurement. I came down 25 inches for the hip length and I also shocked it down as well. Meanwhile, the hip circumference is 44 inches. 44 divided by into 2 because our fabric is folded into 2. That's the front bodice and back body. What we have to mark out there is 2 inches. So I went ahead and shot down 22 inches. Also measured out what is left, which is 2 inches. So I marked 1 inch on both sides, so on the other side as well. So I connected it all the way to the hip in that V shape, all the way to the waist measurement. So that's for our body measurements. So what I will now is to trace it from that hip measurement or hip line. You trace it away to the hem of the, all the way straight. If you want it pencil, you can come in just 1 inch or 1.5 inches all the way down the hem of the gown. I'm going to stitch it this way from that line to the end of the gown. So I'll do this yours. So right now our gown is, look at how it is to the hem. So what is left out is to stitch in our ruffles. So I went ahead and cut out a long strip of 40 inches in length and also the width is 11 inches. Remember from our measurement, we mapped out 11 inches to come up to our gown. So what we have is 11 inches. What I will do now is to stitch it all the way around and pleating. If you don't want to pleat, you can as well gather it all the way around. So I'm going to pleat it. and close it at both the open ends before pleating. So I'm going to do this and show us how it looks. So right now I've pleated our ruffles at the lower of the gown. Yes, see how it is. It has been joined to the lower hem all round. So what I will do now, I'm going to iron all the edges out. See it is. I'm going to iron it out and join in the sleeve. So that's what I will do next. So now I went ahead and placed the gown on the table, taking note of the armhole area. So all the way from the shoulder length or shoulder area, I measured out an armhole which is 9 inches in length, just like so. So that means the round circumference is 18 inches. So I went ahead and cut out the basic sleeve, a long strip for the ruffles. Yes, you just have to check the video of this clip, the total or detailed tutorial on how I cut the sleeve. Check my previous videos. So what I do now, the long strip, I'll go right out and close the edges. And on top of the basic sleeve, I'm going to pleat it like so. Wide strip, long strip, I'll take note of the armhole area. Just give it half an inch space for joining to the armhole. This long strip all the way. Also, at this point, I'm going to join another long strip in this horizontal form. All the way from the lower hem, I came up 6 inches. So I went ahead and cut a long of 20 inches in length, and the width is 7 inches. 1 inch is for stitching allowance. So I place it right side facing each other. I will pleat it all the way like so and flip it to the right side. Also closing the edges using 1 inch mapped out for it. So I will do this and show us the final look of this gown. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please just click on that subscribe button, okay? Also click on notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet in my next tutorial. Bye.